In this video, we'll talk about performance dashboards. Now, a performance dashboard is, in a sense, a very simple concept. It simply collects data about the organization, about its performance in key areas, and it presents the information succinctly and clearly on one screen so that the managers may see their performance quickly and easily by just simply looking at the screen, and it's indicated. It's clearly indicated by whatever method is chosen. It could be pie charts, histograms, it could be dials, it can be presented in any way that makes sense and it's easy to interpret. So it's using data from the organization under different headings: production, sales, productivity, whatever the key indicators are, the key indicators of performance are, then these can be extracted and presented very quickly and very easily on one screen. Then that is a performance dashboard. Dashboards and scorecards both provide visual displays of important information that is consolidated and arranged on a single screen so that the information can be digested at a single glance and easily explored. So dashboards and scorecards both provide information quickly on a single screen. It may entail, as I said earlier, it may entail the use of graphics or charts or graphs, and these can be changing in real time as data is being received from, let's say, the factory floor. The indicators can be changing in real time as the data is received. It's changed, or as output varies, the output indicator can vary as well. So managers, by simply looking at the screen, know exactly what's happening, know exactly what's going on, and that's a very powerful management tool. It's a very important piece of information to have. It may be difficult to set up, and getting the information in real time back to a computer that displays this information may be difficult, but once it's set up, it becomes a very valuable tool. So let's look at the differences between dashboards and scorecards. Well, first of all, we have performance dashboards, which we've just talked about. Looks at the performance of the organization in real time, sends back information from various parts of the factory or from the warehouse or from different centers. It sends it back in real time, and it's produced immediately on a screen so that the management can see exactly what's happening and how different parts of the organization are functioning at that moment in time. So it's a visual display used to monitor operational performance. It's graphical. It's a picture or a set of pictures or charts or graphs, or it's some way of presenting the information very easily understood, very straightforward, and straightforward indicators. Performance scorecards. Well, performance scorecards are slightly different. We'll look at these. So it's a visual display used to monitor operational performance. So that's the dashboard. Now the scorecard, the performance scorecard, is a visual display used to chart progress against strategic and tactical goals and strategies. So the performance scorecard measures performance, but of course it must measure performance against something. It must measure it against set objectives. So the objectives could be the operational targets that have been set, the operational targets which are consistent with the achievement of the strategic targets. So there are operational plans that are being implemented, and the outputs can therefore be compared against what was intended to be achieved. So performance scorecards are measurements against a standard. They are, in a sense, benchmarked against some standard to see how well they are performing. Whereas performance dashboards simply shows what's happening now in real time, shows the amount produced in the last hour, shows productivity, shows the machines and how many machines are running, how many machines are under maintenance, and the current state. So the current state of the organization is presented on a screen. That's the performance dashboard. The performance scorecard is how the company is working right now in different departments, in let's say production, how production is working, but against the targets. So it's a comparison against targets. Not so with the dashboard. Performance scorecards have this reference point. Performance dashboard is a multi-layered application. So multi-layered, it can be different types of information coming in and placed on top of each other almost, so that averages and different statistics may be produced based on the information coming in. And it's built on a business intelligence and data integration infrastructure. So the idea is that data from the business is coming in, it's flowing into one center, it's been analyzed by, let's say, a powerful computer. These real-time indicators are put onto a screen, so it's integration. It's taking information from different parts, it's doing the analysis and presenting it. And this enables the organizations to measure, monitor and manage business performance more effectively. So that's the whole idea. That's why it happens. It happens because the organization wishes to monitor and manage their performance more effectively. So the dashboard is a very powerful tool to enable management to see what's happening in real time, what's happening right now. And we can imagine three types of dashboard. Operational dashboards, talking about what's happening in production in terms of machinery that are running, output in the last hour or the last day, even in the last 5 minutes, depends on the system. Looks at productivity in different sections, different measures of productivity. So it's very operational, but it enables the management to see exactly what's happening and where intervention may be required. There can also be tactical dashboards, which are more long run. These take the statistics that are coming off production and out of warehouses and logistics centers and production centers. It takes this information, but it presents a more long run view of it, and from that there's an indication of how the business is running today versus how it ran over the last 3 months or over the last 6 months. So it's able to do comparisons, and it's a more long run looking at will it achieve its tactical objectives. And of course there are also strategic dashboards, which are the very long run. These are the planning ones that the organization may put into place, different objectives, different targets for different departments, and the dashboard may be customized to see to what extent actual performance today is going to result in the achievement of these strategic objectives. So the tactical one is looking at how the system is running and looking at a slightly longer phase, perhaps over a 3-month period, because it needs to monitor how the operation is going about achieving its objectives, and it can't do that instantaneously. The operational ones are right now. These possibly are in real time. Tactical might be over a longer period, but looking at how the business implements its changes and its policies and its routines. and the strategic long run, how it's going to achieve its long run um, ambitions, and how it's going to achieve its plans in the long run, and looking at a build-up from the day-to-day over a longer period, and making projections to show what is likely to happen. Is it going to be a shortfall on the plan? Is it going to overachieve on the plan? So it's just making realistic projections. The dashboard design, well, the fundamental challenge of dashboard design is to display all the required information on a single screen, and to do it clearly and without distraction, in a manner that can be assimilated quickly. Well, it's quite a difficult task to take a complicated organization producing perhaps several products with a production center, warehouse, stores. It's complicated. But to present all of the information on one screen, on one computer screen, that's a real challenge. So the software design must be very specific, and it must enable this type of information to be produced. But it's not just the information is produced and put onto the screen. It must be easily understood. It can be just by looking at it very quickly. People can say, the managers can say, this one's dipping, or that one's increasing, or this one's at a standstill, or this one's broken down. Just by looking at the screen, very quickly. No analysis to be done, no calculation to be. Just look at the screen, look at the chart. That machine has stopped. The stores is not responding to this request, and so the information is coming in real time, and it can be acted upon immediately. But it's a big challenge to managers, to the software designers, to the people who implement this system, to get the data back, accurate information back in real time perhaps. It's difficult, but the rewards are very high because there is effective management as a consequence. Now, what to look for in a dashboard? Well, use of visual components, for example charts, performance bars, gauges, meters, stoplights. They're all used to highlight at a glance the data and exceptions that require action. So that's what a dashboard is. It tells the management when to intervene, how to intervene, where the intervention is best placed, which machine has stopped, which section is not working to performance, which one's overachieving in a sense, which one's doing very well today, doing it now, right now, in real time. So it's looking at all of the components of the business, and it's a visual display of those components, their performance and how they're working. So it's a big tool for management. It's transparent to the user, meaning that they require minimal training and are extremely easy to use. So management don't have to be trained in this. They simply look at the screen, and it should be obvious from the charts and the dials and so on the screen what's happening. They should understand it. It's intuitive. They just understand it by looking at it. It's a very simple thing to understand. It should combine data from a variety of systems into a single, summarized, unified view of the business. So it's taking information from the stores, from production, from the output of a particular machine, from deliveries, from dispatch. It's taking the information and it's making sense of it and presenting it in a graphical form. So just by looking at it, the manager knows exactly what's happening. Now, what to look for in a dashboard? Well, enable drill down or drill through to analyze data and sources or reports. That would be very useful. If something needs further analysis, it would be nice if the management could take the dashboard and, let's say, just double click on a particular chart, which will open up all the statistics about that chart and give more information. give history, give what happens in the recent past. Just give some information about the process. So it may give information about who the operators are, what are the shift times, what were the last breakdowns, and what caused the breakdown, and when was it, and so on. So it may give a history, but it may also give some statistics about the current situation. So it would be very nice if they're able to drill down. In other words, if they're able to double click on a chart and get a lot more information, and then close that window and go back to the dashboard. That would be really useful. It should present a dynamic real-world view with timely data refreshes, enabling the end user to stay up to date with any recent changes in the business. Well, that view is probably what is likely to happen, that the dashboard is presented and updated every 3 minutes or every minute or every hour. It all depends on how it's structured. The really clever one would be where it's updated continuously. So as information changes on the shop floor, the dashboard changes as well. As production changes, as machines are stopped and started, the dashboard is changing as a consequence. That would be the best one. But sometimes, because of design issues, because of the cost of getting such a system up and running, it may be updated every 3 minutes, 5 minutes, every hour. It depends. Obviously, the bigger the lag in the update, if it's updated every hour, then managers might have to wait for an hour to see what's happening. If a machine is stopped, an hour's production could be quite significant. So clearly, if it's updated continuously, that's the best system, but the most expensive one, and the one which will require some maintenance as well. It shouldn't require a lot of customized coding to implement and deploy and maintain. If it has a lot of customized coding, that means a lot of particular types of code for the computer. It may need a specialist, and if anything goes wrong with it, then a specialist from outside would have to be called in, and in that period the dashboard may be down. So it's always best to have something which the IT section of the business, or people with an IT interest, are able to fix. They're able to reboot it, they're able to get it started again. If there's an error, they're able to fix the error by looking at the code and making some changes, and it should be easily maintained. And that's the essence of a good performance dashboard. So this is what to look for. These are important managerial tools to help management to monitor the business, monitor the efficiency of the business, the effectiveness of the business, and so on. They are just tools, but they're important to be aware of. But that's all I'm going to deal with in this class, so let's leave it. It's a short video just on this particular topic, which is used in some organizations. It's important within the organization it's used because it can be a really powerful tool for management. But that's all I'm going to deal with here, so let's leave it at that and say thank you for watching.